Hey everyone, and welcome back to Psycho How. Have you ever stopped to really think about why you do what you do? Why you picked that specific coffee this morning? Why you scrolled through that endless feed? Or even why you agreed to that plan when you really wanted to say no? Most of the time, we just act without much thought. We tell ourselves we're making choices, being smart, weighing things up. But what if I told you that a huge chunk of your everyday decisions, big and small, are actually steered by invisible strings? Not strings pulled by someone else, but by hidden psychological triggers deep inside your own mind. Today, we're diving deep into these sneaky forces. We're going to pull back the curtain on some powerful psychological tricks your brain plays on itself every single day. Once you know about them, you'll start seeing them everywhere. And maybe, just maybe, you'll start making choices that are truly your own. Let's start with a big one. It's called the scarcity principle. Imagine you're online shopping. You see a shirt you like. It's nice, but you're not totally sure. Then, you notice a little message. Only 2 left in stock. Or sale ends in 3 hours. Suddenly, that shirt seems a lot more appealing, doesn't it? You feel a little rush, a little urgency. That, my friends, is scarcity at play. The scarcity principle is simple. We value things more when we believe they are rare, limited, or might soon be gone. Our brains are wired to think that if something is hard to get, it must be valuable. This goes way back to our survival instincts. If there were only a few berries on a bush, you'd better grab them before someone else does, right? Today, this plays out in so many ways. Those limited edition products, the early bird discounts that are only good for a short time, or even when your friend says, I only have an hour, so we have to decide now. It makes us jump to conclusions. It pushes us to buy, to agree, to act, often without fully thinking if we even need or want the thing in the first place. You might walk away with that shirt or that concert ticket or that agreement and only later wonder, did I really want that or did I just not want to miss out? Keep an eye out for phrases like final chance, exclusive offer, or countdown timers. They're all trying to trigger that ancient fear of missing out. Next up, let's talk about social proof. Think about it. When you're walking down a street looking for a place to eat and you see 2 restaurants, one is packed with people, buzzing with activity, the other is almost empty. Which one do you naturally lean towards? Chances are you'll pick the busy one. Why? Because if everyone else is choosing it, it must be good, right? That's social proof in action. We are deeply social creatures, and we look to others for clues on how to behave, especially when we're unsure or in a new situation. It's like our brains think, if a lot of people are doing this, it's probably the right or best thing to do. You see this everywhere. Bestseller lists, products with thousands of 5 STAR reviews, the popularity of certain trends, or even just how people react in a crowd. If everyone around you starts laughing, you might find yourself chuckling too, even if you didn't quite catch the joke. When a new movie comes out and all your friends are raving about it, you're much more likely to want to see it. This isn't just about being a follower. It's a deep-seated human tendency to trust the wisdom of the crowd. It helps us navigate a complex world, but it can also make us go along with things we might not genuinely prefer, just because everyone else is. Now, let's move on to the anchoring effect. This one is really interesting. Imagine you're at a car dealership. The salesperson tells you a car usually costs $40,000. You gasp. Then, they quickly say, but for you, today, we can do it for $32,000. Suddenly, $32,000 sounds like a pretty good deal, right? You feel like you're saving a lot. But what if the car was only ever worth $30,000? The anchoring effect means that the first piece of information we hear or see, the anchor, sticks in our minds and heavily influences our later judgments and decisions, even if that first piece of information isn't completely true or relevant. Your brain latches onto that first number, $40,000, and everything else is judged against it. This happens all the time. Think about seeing a price tag that says $100, now only $50. The $100 is the anchor, making the $50 seem like a steal, even if you never would have paid $100 for it. Or in a negotiation, the person who puts out the first number often has a big advantage, because that number becomes the anchor for the rest of the discussion. Even something as simple as asking someone, are you a good driver? Versus, are you a bad driver? Can anchor their thoughts differently before they answer. Your brain struggles to ignore that initial number or idea, making it harder to evaluate things purely on their own merit. Finally, we have the framing effect. This one shows us that how information is presented to us can completely change our minds, even if the actual facts are the same. It's all about the wrapper, not just the candy inside. Here's a classic example. Imagine you're told about a new treatment for a serious illness. Scenario A, this treatment has a 90% chance of success. Scenario B, this treatment has 10% chance of failure. Which one sounds better? Most people would pick scenario A, even though 90% success and 10% failure mean exactly the same thing. One is framed positively, focusing on what you gain, while the other is framed negatively, focusing on what you lose. Our brains are wired to be sensitive to gains and losses. We really don't like losing things, so we tend to react strongly to negative framing. This effect is powerful in everyday life. Think about food labels. 90% fat-free sounds much healthier than contains 10% fat, doesn't it? Or when someone describes a situation to you, they might emphasize the good parts or the bad parts, guiding your reaction without changing any of the core details. A friend might say, it's only going to take you an hour of your time. Positive framing instead of, you'll lose an hour of your time. Negative framing. They want you to agree, so they choose words that make the experience sound better. The framing effect shows us that our choices aren't always about cold hard facts. They're heavily influenced by the words, images, and context used to present those facts. So, there you have it. Scarcity, social proof, anchoring, and framing. These are just a few of the powerful, often invisible, psychological triggers that shape our daily decisions and behaviors. They work quietly in the background, guiding our choices without us even realizing it. They're not always bad. Sometimes they help us make quick decisions or connect with others. But they can also lead us down paths we didn't truly intend to take, buying things we don't need or agreeing to things we don't want. The important thing isn't to try and fight them all the time. That's nearly impossible. The real power comes from simply knowing they exist. From now on, when you feel a sudden urge to buy something because it's limited, or you find yourself agreeing with the crowd, or you think a deal is amazing just because of the first number you heard, or you feel swayed by how someone tells a story, pause. Take a breath. Ask yourself, is this truly my choice? Or am I responding to a hidden psychological trigger? This awareness gives you a moment of power, a chance to step back and make a more conscious decision. Start observing these triggers in your own life and in the world around you. You'll be amazed at how often they pop up. Thanks for watching. If you found this insightful, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the human mind. Until next time, stay curious.